start the live stream at 10 o'clock, but it's raining. We have another rain day. Out of 72 days, we have 60 days of rain since December 21st. And what I want to talk about how the government, they lie. They lie. And I want to also talk about something that I don't know if it's a coincidence or not. It's certainly serendipitous. And for sure, it's a synchronistic event in my mind. And we're going to talk about Erin Brockovich, and we're going to talk about the Ohio train derailment before I do my 3 proofs that the earth is not a spinning ball. So on my screen, I have a picture of East Palestine in Ohio and the train derailment. Now, if you've seen these pictures, you know that we're being lied to, because it's a month now and they've done basically next to nothing to clean it up. Now, they couldn't do much because of the causticity of the event. They couldn't do much, or they didn't do much, or they're not going to do much. But they certainly haven't done much about this train derailment. And I don't know how many cars filled with chemicals, petrochemicals, and caustic chemicals, but we have been lied to since day one. On day one, there was a news article. Now, you got to understand something. These people make $100,000, $200,000 a year to bring you the news. And this woman, who basically has a pair of shoulders with a box of rocks on top of her shoulders, I get so flustered when I start talking about stuff like this. I want to go back. I want to go back in time to when YouTube was YouTube and you were allowed to use profanities. I want to go back to that time when you were allowed, but they won't let me. I have to slow down and think about every word I say, because they are in fact lying to us on oh so many levels. There's just no way that it can't be intentional. It's just not possible that it can't be intentional. So right after the train derailment, and after that happened on January 3rd, I think it was. Right after the train derailment, a newscaster, major primetime newscaster, came on the news and said, the train was derailed and caustic chemicals are being let out of the containers in a controlled dump. And that as much as as this is somebody that makes $4,000 a week. As much as you got to give me a minute here. I'm doing something else on my computer. I have to go to my videos and do something. As much as 10,000. Okay. This is a newscaster that makes $200,000 a year. I can't even say what I want to say. I think I believe they should be immediately fired. I believe that, and I truly believe it. Okay, so a newscaster. Okay, so let me break it down for you in cubic yards or cubic meters. This newscaster, now $4,000 a week to write, to read a teleprompter, but also used to be newscasters did research. So in Ohio, I think it was 10 plus cars carrying highly caustic and highly toxic chemicals derailed. And the newscaster came on and said 10 cubic, as much as 10 cubic yards of material has been contaminated. 10 cubic yards. Does anybody out there, do any of you geniuses that watch my videos know how much material 10 cubic yards is? And I'm being serious. A cubic yard is 27 cubic feet. 10 cubic yards is 270 cubic feet. That would be the equivalent of filling up a 9-foot by 9-foot room, 9 feet high. There were thousands of square feet of soil with trains dripping chemicals on them. So maybe there was 10,000 cubic yards, but I don't think it was a mistake that she said 10 cubic yards. I believe it was because the people that are watching these programs are so stupid, they don't know the difference. So 10 cubic yards fits in a truck, right? I believe that they're psychologically abusing, not me, but you for sure, because you people don't grab this. So what did I do? I got the article when there were maybe 8 or 10 comments. There was like 8 comments, and 2 comments had comments to them. And I posted 10 cubic yards is only a 9-foot by 9-foot by 9-foot room, about the size of an average bathroom. You know how many responses I got for that? None. 0. They shadow banned my comment. They shadow banned it. They did not let my comment. I could see the comment, but nobody else could see the comment. So, I think that East Palestine, Ohio, was preemptive programming, which they do all the time in the movies, to prepare for the East Palestine bombing by Israel. I believe that, and I am not kidding. Would they derail 10 railroad cars of caustic chemicals as a predictive programming in East Palestine? And if you remember correctly, there was a movie put out predicting a train derailment with caustic chemicals in East Palestine, Ohio, about a year ago. This is not a coincidence. This is not a coincidence. And to prove that the government could care less about the people in East Palestine, Ohio, they've done basically nothing about it at all. They're not doing anything about it at all, as far as I'm concerned. Because I will tell you about the EPA that I had to deal with as an excavation contractor in Florida and marine construction excavation bulkhead building contractor in New York. You have no idea how the EPA, the Coast Guard, work when they give out violations and fines. You have no idea their authority. Any one of them can shut your company down, any one individual. They work independently of one another, and they work as a team and a group. So if one person in the Environmental Protection Agency comes out and gives you a fine for $50,000, $50,000 US because you dug a hole with a shovel 3 feet deep and 3 feet round to put a pole in. All the other employees for the Environmental Protection Agency will agree that that $50,000 fine is presentable. That it's a reasonable amount of money. Because you endangered mud. Mud that's been silt and mud that's been up against that bulkhead for 75 or 100 years. All I did was dig a hole with a shovel, 3 feet deep and 3 feet round, to put a pole in from gooky mud, or mud saturated with oil, mud saturated with rocks, weeds, plastic debris, paper debris, cardboard debris. $50,000 to dig a hole 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet. That's nothing. If you don't pay it, they confiscate your equipment. That's how much power they have. So they wanted me to hire a lawyer to fight it. And I had to go to the Department of Environmental Protection in Long Island City before a hearing board because I fought it, and they said you should bring a lawyer. And I said, well, a lawyer will cost me like $5,000 to represent me for this. I'll do it myself. So I go to the management, the Department of Environmental Protection, to their office where the hearing is. And the guy who came to give me the fine is at the hearing. So I think that I'm going to have a legal, legitimate hearing. No. That's just that whole concept of fairness in the government, that's out the window. So we sit down, and there's about 7 or 8 people. Some of them I knew because they would check off jobs for me when I had certain parts of the job done. They would come. They do environmental impact studies. Some of them I knew, and some of them I didn't know. But the one that gave me the fine, I didn't know that person. So they said, what did you do? They have a picture of the hole. They have a picture of the telephone pole I put in the hole. They have pictures of me working, digging the hole with a shovel. And they determined that if I paid 10%, $5,000 that day, write them out a check at that table, sit down, open up my checkbook, and write out a check for $5,000, that would satisfy them. But if I didn't write it out then, they wanted $50,000. And there was no other option. Or I could give them cash. That's how much power they have. And who was it that was my arbitrator? It was the fella that gave me the fine. And that's how it works, because same thing in Florida. I could give you another example. Nico was my person who gave me the fine. Nico was the arbitrator or the judge, the magistrate at the hearing. So I gave them the $5,000 cash check, and that satisfied it. And I never did another job without a permit. But to get a permit for that job would have taken 6 months to a year and cost me $1,800. So I just dug a hole with a shovel, and I got a $50,000 fine. So how does this segue into East Palestine, Ohio? So this TV newscaster who has shoulders, and on top of her shoulders is a box of rocks, she said that there's as many as 10 cubic meters, 10 cubic, not 1,000, not 10,000, of contaminated soil. Well, I estimate close to 10,000 cubic meters of contaminated soil, just from what I could see from the train derailment. You know what the fine was for the for the to the railroad? Nothing. So far, nothing. I don't know if they ever gave them a fine, but while I followed the story, it was nothing. Now, what did they do? They dumped the caustic chemicals into the soil, which would go down into the water table, which could be 18 or 20 feet. The chemicals are going to go into the soil down to where there's no more chemicals going into the soil. It could go down 50 feet. So when I say 10,000 cubic meters, that's a low number, and it's realistically low number. So they don't care about the people in East Palestine. So what did they do? They did what they call the controlled dump. You people don't understand any of this because you spend your lives reading headlines and not understanding the background of these petrochemicals. Okay, so there are petrochemicals that were on that train where if you breathed in the vapors, if you were working and you opened up the dump valve and you breathed in the chemical, like you would smell alcohol when you put it on a mosquito bite, you'll be dead a few hours later. It would melt your lungs. That's some of the caustic chemicals that were on that train. It contaminated, this is what it did. It contaminated the freshwater flow underneath the freshwater table under where the trains were, because they dumped it into the soil rather than get hoses and trucks and pump trucks. They just dumped it into the soil. They don't care. They wanted to destroy the water table for East Palestine, Ohio. They wanted to do an environmental disaster. They wanted to do this. They didn't do it by accident. These are the people that are in charge of Environmental Protection Agency. They did this on purpose. Now, what did they say to the people? It's okay to drink the water, but they're giving the animals the water, and the animals are dying. They're drinking bottled water. Right. That's right. Hey, Buddy says that was terrible what they did and how they act like the water is safe to drink. That's just by chance. That's what I was talking about. They told the people that the water was safe and they could drink it. And they gave it to the dogs, but people that drank the water were having open bleeding lesions on their face, and their cheeks were melting from the inside out. Now, let me tell you, this is not a one-off thing. This is how they're destroying the wealth of the middle class, which I've been saying for weeks, and the middle class itself, and the environment, to prepare you for the Great Reset. So what should they have done? I know what the proper procedure for that would have been. It would have been to pump that stuff into other trucks and take it someplace where they were going to take it to begin with. But they didn't do that. Now, let me tell you what the Coast Guard did to me with my Ocean Racer. Okay, and I'm going to tell you how much they care about East Palestine by telling you this story about my boat. My boat had two 365 horse, naturally aspirated 454 cubic inch engines with 4-barrel carburetors. and a 12-quart oil pan. Okay, so it's a high performance engine, two of them in the boat. Now you're going to get oil leaks. You're going to get an oil leak. Something is going to put a drop of oil here and there into the bilge. The Coast Guard came to my house when I pulled into the dock, and they said, we see an oil leak behind your boat. And I was, no, sir, that's not possible. Well, we have reason to believe that your boat is leaking oil into the canal. We're going to have to search your vessel. So I know there's no oil leak. I know that. I took the motors apart. I sealed up the oil pan. I sealed up the main bearings. I did the job. I know there's not an oil leak. The one that did leak was for an oil filter hose, and it leaked about a drop every half hour, and I fixed that. Well, inside the boat, it was getting to be dark. They took flashlights and they shined the flashlights under the engine on like a very shallow angle. And they could see a sheen, S-H-E-E-N, sheen of oil. Could have been one drop of oil a week ago when I put oil in the engine. One drop would make an oil sheen in that. It was a cordoned off area. It was the back bay. It's like 4 feet by 4 feet, and there was about an inch and a half of water. They saw an oil sheen in the water. They gave me a warning, and the warning was, for a first time oil sheen, oil spill on this vessel, Good Friday, and the next time would be $10,000 US. $10,000 for a drop of oil. So now, how many tens of thousands of gallons are in East Palestine? Many thousand. Those 10 super tankers with 20,000 gallons, 200,000 gallons of caustic chemicals. They just dumped it into the soil. They don't care about you. They really don't care about you. They don't care that they destroy the environment. And let me tell you why. Because they're going to get a company in eventually that will bid $25 million to clean it up, when it actually costs them about $3 or $4 million. And the EPA is going to get part of that money for giving out the contract. It's going to be all under the table money. Now, let me tell you where the fines go when an EPA agent gives you a fine. This is standard. Do you know that when I got the $5,000 fine for digging a hole with a shovel, do you know where that money went? Did not go to New York City. It did not go to the Environmental Protection Agency fund for corporation, the corporate fund. No, it went into that building has a fund. Those agents that work out of that building have a fund. It's called slush money. And that $5,000 went into a fund. And that fund can be used for anything they want. Not gasoline for their cars. That's from the government. Not their salary. Not their medical benefits. No, none of that. It can be used if they want to have a birthday party for the agent that gave me the ticket. They can use it for flowers for somebody that's sick. If they want to have a party at the office for Christmas, that money can be used for a Christmas party. Could be used for a birthday party. Could be used for anything, but anything government, fuel, oil, cars, phones, all that stuff's paid by the government. The fines go into a coffer. of slush fund money in the EPA in New York City. And the same holds true for a fine I got in Florida. They wanted this is going back to 2001. They wanted $500 for something I did without a permit. And I agreed that I did it without a permit. I did also have permission from Tim. Tim was the tree surgeon for the Key Largo code enforcement. Tim said, "Mike, that's a junk tree. You can cut it down." So I cut it down. I didn't have a permit, but Tim said it was okay. Well, Tim said it was okay, so I cut it down, and they came along. I was 40 feet up in the tree with a chainsaw, with ropes, lopping stuff off, and they're over there with cameras like this. I had the ladder. I had a 30-foot ladder inside the bucket of my machine that was up 12 feet off the ground. So I was up about 40 feet with the chainsaw. The bucket was up in the air like this. The ladder was in the bucket, tied off, and I was at the top of the ladder. And they're videotaping me, so I waved to them. You know, they're not bothering me yet. So when I finished lopping off the limbs that I wanted to take down, I had to go down and release the lines to go set up for another drop. When I got down to the bottom, they said, "Do you have a permit?" I said, "No, Tim said it was okay." So they get on the radio with Tim, and Tim says, "Yeah, I told him he could cut that down." "Well, today's your lucky day, Fazio. We're only going to give you a $500 fine for not having a permit." I said, "But he said I could cut it down." He goes, "Yes, but he doesn't have that authority." "But he's in charge of trees." "Yes, but you need a permit." So I said to Tom, there was Tom and Jack were the code enforcement agents for Key Largo in the early 2000s. And I said to them, "Where's that money go?" "Oh, it goes for pizza, birthday parties, hamburgers, Chinese food. It doesn't go into the Key Largo fund. This is where the money goes. I'm not lying to you. Go look it up. Go. Tom and Jack have long since retired, but that's where it goes." So I said to them, "Wait a minute. That $500 is going to a birthday party or a wedding? You know, congratulations, you got married, something like." "Yes." "Do I get invited?" They laughed. They gave me the fine and they left. I said, "What about the tree?" They said, "You could finish chopping it down. Tim said you could chop it down." It was like a big joke to them. And they knew $500 was nothing compared to what I charged. I charged $3,500 to chop the tree down. The tree was 38 inches in diameter and 50 feet high. So I made money, but that's not the point. The point is that money that they fine you. So in East Palestine, to digress, that money, there is no fine. But if there is going to be a fine, the contractor, and I'm going to give you one more example, then we're going to talk about, I'll prove to you the earth is not a spinning ball. In East Palestine, there's going to be bids for a contract. That is corruption. It's legalized. It's the government. It's a legal mafia. In East Palestine, there's going to be bids to clean up that environmental disaster that the government, caused. Because whatever chemicals were left in the tanks, they could have gotten huge pans, put it underneath the leaking area, and then pumped it out. But they didn't because they said it was too caustic. So they dumped it in the ground into the water table. All right, so what's going to happen is a contractor, a licensed chemical contractor, hazardous waste contractor, is going to come in and bid, my estimate, $25 million. Maybe a year from now we'll know what it's going to cost. But and $25 million to clean that up would be probably cheap. But before they take the bid, they're sealed bids too. Those people are going to make offers, under the table offers, cash money that goes into that coffer for the agents. It's going to happen. It's not a question of if. I bid on government contracts back in the 80s, and they said, "Well, what are you offering?" I'm saying, "I'm offering. I'll do the contract for $380,000." So what do we get? What do we get? You don't get nothing. You have a salary and an air-conditioned office. Well, I didn't get any of those jobs because I talked to Peter, who was my foreman for the union, and he said, "Mike, you got to give them something up front before they'll even take your bid." I said, "What if they don't take the bid? Then they keep it." No, I'm not doing that. So the whole system is corrupt. Now, what they just did in another country, it was a 95-foot yacht. It got beached. And they took off, like, I don't know, 55-gallon drums of fuel oil off the barge. Myself, Scott Del Fuego, and the sick Jack Thompson, before he got sick, could have gone to that country, flew there. We could have rented a boat with a 12-volt and bought some 12-volt batteries and a pump. Pumped the diesel fuel out of the tanks of the vessel and the oil out of the motor. And we could have did that whole job, including airfare, for $25,000. To buy the tanks, rent a flats boat, a big flats boat, buy a pump, buy the batteries, buy the 55-gallon drums, pump it out, and we could have sold the fuel. The Coast Guard, these people are raping society. The United States government brought in a helicopter and a two-man crew on the helicopter with a special apparatus to pick up 55-gallon drums, to put them on the back deck of the boat. And the helicopter is in the air waiting for the fuel tanks to be filled up in the air. And then when the tanks are full, the guys tell them to pick the tanks up. And the helicopter picks up the tanks and moves the tanks about 250 feet to a road. So they could have pumped it out directly to the truck in the road, but they didn't. But we could have pumped it out level on the ocean for $25,000. Well, no, the government hired a helicopter. You know what the cost was? Only to get the fuel off the boat, not to get the boat off the rocks. Only for the fuel. Somebody want to take a guess while I go look at my comments? You won't guess. You won't come anywhere close to what it is. I'll I'm going to open up my comments. Somebody take a guess what a helicopter and two-man crew, 4 men on the ground, 2 men in the truck, and 2 men on the back of the boat pumping the fuel out of the boat. Take a guess what the Coast Guard charged to take 10 barrels, 500 gallons of fuel off the boat. 500 gallons. Only 500 gallons. Somebody take a guess. I'm just going to the comments now. You won't guess. Nobody could possibly guess. It would be impossible for you to come close. 2 men in a truck, 2 men on the boat, and a helicopter with 2-man crew, pilot and a co-pilot. Take a guess. Hey, buddy. Okay, I'll read your comment momentarily. And then I'm going to the video to see the comments. I'm going to the video. $5,000. Bill's making a joke. 5 tank cars held close to almost 900,000 pounds of vinyl chloride. Those poor people will have liver damage. Bill says 5,000 US dollars. Take that 5,000 and times it by 100. The Coast Guard billed the owner of the boat $450,000, and they didn't take the boat off the rocks because the boat that they brought to take it off the rocks supposedly wasn't strong enough. So the people that, and the ship was 200 feet long that came to take the boat off the rocks. $450,000, and they failed at taking the boat off the rocks. So, but they still charged for the ship. Now they have to get another ship and put it behind the first ship and a stronger tow line, and that might be another $500,000. Where does that? The owner of the boat said the boat had a value of $1.3 million. They said, you can have the boat. You can have the boat. This is last week. This isn't last year or 2 years ago. You can have the boat. The Coast Guard said, fine, we'll take the boat, but you still owe us $450,000, or we're going to shut down your yacht business in Hawaii. It's in the state of Hawaii. So he has several yachts. That was one that he rents out to I'm sure he had a licensed captain on that boat, but he rents out boats, 90-foot yachts, 100-foot yachts. I don't know. He's a yacht renter, and so the captain on that boat, for whatever reason, landed on the rocks, and so now he said, well, look, you keep the boat, you sell the boat to the Coast Guard, and that money put towards salvage. No, the Coast Guard is going to keep the boat, and they're going to sell the boat, but they want $450,000. None of this is reasonable, but that's what they're doing. So now, right, and because he has several other yachts that he rents out, they're going to shut his business down, and they're going to confiscate what they believe to be worth $450,000, aside from the boat. No, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare to have a boat, a big boat like that, or any boat now. So now I'm going to show you Erin Brockovich, who they made that movie about, and then we're going to talk about the flat earth. So here is the lady in East Palestine. By the way, if anybody, I just sent Jerry from My Philippines and Beyond. I sent him a note. He was looking, if any of you people out there have a GoPro Hero 5 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 that they want to sell used, Jerry from My Philippines and Beyond. Let's get his channel up here, right here. He is looking for a used underwater camera and case. Jerry from My Philippines and Beyond. He's looking for a used camera and case. Okay, so if you have a GoPro Hero 4 or 5 or 6, or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10. Jerry needs a camera. He's a scuba diver. All right, so let's go over here. So this is Erin Brockovich at the site of East Palestine. But we're not done with East Palestine yet, because how many of you geniuses out there have read the news about what happened in East Palestine and what Israel did to East Palestine? This, which is where I started off with predictive programming. So she is in East Palestine and saying, now she knows a lot about the environment. She's saying the whole thing is a scandal. The whole entire cleanup. It's not being done properly. It's not being done professionally. It's not being done in a proper cleanup fashion according to regulations. And these are the comments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you this article, and then I'm going to bring you to an article of what happened to East Palestine in East Palestine at East Palestine in the Middle East, because this is predictive programming. As far as I'm concerned, it's predictive programming. So let's just say this happened. It did happen. I think it was February. I forgot the date. I'll have to look. Okay, so let's look this up. Palestine train derailment. Okay, here it is. Ohio, 2003. Happened on February 3rd of 2023. It's going to get really nasty here in a moment. Well, I'm going to close this window out because I got a lot of windows open. I'm going to put that right there. I'm going to put the date right in the middle there. And then I'm going to post this on my channel. This happened on February 23rd of 2023. Now, I'm going to go to the second Google link right here. Israel, God's chosen people, bombed East Palestine. Or bombed Palestine. Well, let's just open this one up. So this is what I believe to be predictive programming. And this happened oh, I hate opening up these other sites. It freezes up my computer. Hold on. We're not responding here. They put so much garbage in the background. We're going to have to wait. So, but Israel bombed East Palestine, or Palestine. Okay, February 23rd. Okay, there was an update on February 23rd. It happened before that. So here is the February. There'll be an update on February 23rd. February 23rd was the day that the train derailment happened, wasn't it? Yes, it was. I do believe. Oh, boy. What a piece of junk Lenovo computers are. They are garbage. Don't ever buy a Lenovo computer. Don't ever buy one. Don't buy a Lenovo computer. They are garbage. They freeze up. You can't clean them up. Every time I try to clean it up with a program, it says the program cleaned it up, and then this happens a few hours later. I can't open up even my own window. And it has nothing to do with how many windows are open at the top of the page. Nothing at all. You can have 100 windows open. It has to do with going to a site like that Israel site, and they're putting billions of pieces of data in the background, cookies and other junk in the background. As soon as I went to that site, the computer froze right up, right? So I want to get this comment posted, and then I'll go on to the Earth is not a spinning ball. So okay, I'm sorry. Aaron Brockovich, East Palestine happened on February 3rd, not the 23rd. You guys want to try to do this on the fly like I'm doing it. I only, you guys call yourself bloggers. You're not bloggers. If you're only talking about other bloggers, that's not blogging. That's not blogging. If all you do is come on and talk about another blogger, other bloggers, and what the other bloggers are doing and what you think the other that is not blogging. Why can't you people get it through your head that you call yourself part of the Philippines blogging community and you don't put anything worthwhile on the internet? So I am trying to put something here and it won't go on. Not using another browser doesn't work for me. I use Chrome. I need somebody to come in and deep clean the computer. That's what I need. There's a way to go into the DOS system and clean off all the junk. The computer's about 2 years old. And the problem is I don't trust anybody in the computer. So that's the problem. All right, so let's close this out. Don't matter. Don't give me any more advice, please. None of you. Not interested in your advice. Everything that anybody could tell me, I've done already. Now, if you are a computer expert and you want to clean my computer and I trust you, then you can clean out the computer. But I haven't met anybody that I trust to go into my computer, so don't worry about it. I'm just telling you that this Lenovo computer is almost impossible to clean up with the programs that people have given me. It's not the windows on the top of the page. It's not the browser, and it's not any sites I visit. It's this piece of junk Lenovo computer just accepts all this garbage. Not interested in the advice. Unless you're a computer technician and you know what I'm talking about, I am not interested at all in the advice. February 23rd. So, Israel went into East Palestine, or Palestine, and it might have been East Palestine, I don't know, and they bombed Palestine. So is it predictive programming? I believe it is. Now I'm going to go to the flat earth. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to prove to you people that it's not It is not the browser. I not that I care to prove it to you because I've done this before, and you people have you. This is the problem with you people. You have rocks in boxes on top of your shoulders. You don't have brains. You don't use your cognitive ability. You don't think. You don't reason, and you can't remember more than a 72-hour news cycle. I'm only going to just shut down the windows I am definitely not going to use anymore. Look how long it's taken. I closed the button. Look how long it took to close out the window. Watch this. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010, 1011, 1012, 1013. 13 seconds to close out a window. One thousand one, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005. 5 seconds to close out a window. That's not right. This is the site I went for Philippines and beyond. Now what I'm going to do is I don't need anything with GoPro cameras on here. I watched Flying Circus put out a video this morning, Inagata Davida. 17 minutes and 7 seconds of pure bliss. I remember that actually the day it came out when I was a child, little, maybe, I don't know, 12, 13, 14 years old. And it's a really cool video. It gives you Inagata Davida at the time when we got older. It gave the people enough time that once they heard the opening, I think they call it a rift, it gave them enough time to go to their stash, roll, smoke, and kick back. Inagata Davida. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to restart the computer. Watch this. This is how much it gets jammed up. All right, so I'm going to restart it. I pushed the restart button. I have to hold it down for 15 seconds. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now I take my hand off, and in 15. Okay, now that happened quick. Now I hold this down for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take that off and restart it. Now I have to restart the computer. So, now what I'm going to talk about, I'm going to move over now to, we're off the government, we're off. Oh yeah, and another thing, in my community post that I put out this morning, did you see what I wrote? Do you know that people are interviewing politicians for now 14 years as they walk into the Senate or the Congress or through Washington, and they say, look at those lines in the sky. What are they? And they all say, I don't know. I don't know what those are. Exhaust. They call it exhaust. These are the people that run the country, you morons. To believe these people. I have a friend of mine that has a button on his desk, and every time Congress or the Senate convenes, the button is a big red button like this. And on the button, it says asteroid strike Congress. Asteroid strike Senate. Asteroid strike Washington, D.C. Asteroid strike Parliament. And he can put little pieces of paper on the button and then he hits the button. Depends on which news he's watching. Because I understand his point of view. These people are lying to us. They're getting inside information on stock. Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul, just got caught after he got out of jail for drunk driving. He bought 20,000 shares of some corporate stock, and immediately thereafter, Nancy Pelosi pushed a bill through Congress, or whatever she's in. I don't even know what she's in. And for a $52 billion bill that made those corporations richer, and her husband made tens of millions of dollars on those 20,000 shares of stock. Now, do you think it was just her husband that bought the stock? It was her nephew, her niece, if they have any children, I don't know, their neighbors, everybody that would give them 10% of what they earned from the stock increase. They're all raping the system, the government system. They're all inside all inside trader deals, and it's against the law. But when they put them before Congress, I have no recollection. They're just destroying everything about what the United States once stood for. Not allowed to talk about medical stuff, Michael. I don't know why you can't get that little common denominator. You're not allowed to talk about anything pharmaceutical or anything medical on YouTube. But if you want to do it, if you want to start a channel and make videos about it, I'm sure that would be okay with me. Let me ask me, can Michael Dowdy start a channel and talk about medical stuff? Yes, you can do that. You can do that. Not allowed to talk about medical stuff on the channel. Please don't do that again. I don't know why people can't get that. Because you know why you can't remember that? Because you don't have a channel. And you don't get a strike when you talk about medical stuff because you don't have a channel. And you didn't spend years putting videos on your channel that you could get a strike for and then not be able to lose your channel or not be able to post for a week or 2 weeks, because you people means nothing to you if I say something that goes against YouTube's rules. Now, I know you didn't do it on purpose, but I've said this before multiple times. I'm not allowed to talk about medical stuff. I don't know where they draw the line. Stock, medicine, doctors, hospitals, treatment, anything medical you can get a strike for. So stop sending me stuff that has to do with medical information. I'm not interested. I got a strike for that back on September 28th. Then I got another strike for that last June. Same thing. And all I did in June was read Louis Pagan Ponce's comment. That's all I did. I read a comment that came from Google. So the next person that sends me medical advice, you might think it's funny and you're going to troll me, you're getting blocked. I'll fix you people so that you can't send me junk that I might read or that other people are going to... I'm not even allowed to have it on my channel. You're not allowed to talk. This is what you're not allowed to talk about, so I don't talk about it. So stop sending me that garbage. It's an amazing thing how many times I've said this. You guys don't get it through your head. You'll get it through your head when you get blocked. Not necessarily Mike Dowdy. I know he's not doing it on purpose, but I've said this before. Don't send me anything that has to do with medical. Nothing. Nothing medical. Thank you. Jesus Christ. So Flying Circus. Let's get Flying Circus. That's a pretty cool video. So, In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, it gave you enough time to get home, get your stash, roll one up, and kick back and relax. And if I remember correctly, and I think I do, I could look this up. But, I don't know how far back the records go. There was a discotheque called the Swizzle Stick. The Swizzle Stick. Swizzle or EL. Swizzle Stick on Cross Bay Boulevard in Howard Beach. Actually, the fella that I talked about yesterday, Bobby Calise, Frankie Calise's brother, he owned a cab stand in that building. And when he gave the cab stand up to put his cab stand next to the Howard Beach train station, John had a fish market to the side later on, but that's where John's Fresh Fish was. And at the Swizzle Stick, the group that made the song In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida played live band back in, I don't know, whatever year that was, in the early 70s. And there must have been 20,000, 30,000 people that came to watch the band play the song and came to watch the band. The whole of Cross Bay Boulevard was jammed up with cars, motorcycle people that belonged to memberships to motorcycle clubs. There were tens of thousands of people. And I remember going there because at the time the bridge was still up. So maybe this was in the 60s. I don't remember. Could have been. But the group that played In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida also played at the Swizzle Stick. And there was so many people. So this is Flying Circus's channel. If you're not a member of Flying Circus's channel, he has some cool stuff on his channel. Especially you want to check out something called Spernips, Spernips. It's a homemade delicacy. Now, me personally, I don't like anything made out of gelatin, but it's on Flying Circus's channel. Gelatin Creations by some guy. I forgot the guy's name. Now, let's move on to how do we know the Earth is not a spinning ball? How do we know this? Well, one thing that we know for sure, all right, I gotta shut. I want to just shut some more windows off. I want to put a bunch of windows up on the screen. I think this is where Jerry, Philippines and Beyond. This is where he goes diving. So I watched his video. Let's give him a thumbs up. And here's my comment to Jerry and his reply. All right, we'll close that down. eBay, this is the cameras that I sent Jerry from Philippines and Beyond, a link for that. This is my live stream. So I want to read my live stream, so I'm going to bring this over to the top here, to the right side. I'm going to go back over here. Then I'm going to go here, channel content. You don't need to see that. I posted some videos that you don't need to see, only from my friends. There's a lot of videos that I make that I do work that you can't see. Lots of them. So you people, he doesn't know anything about mechanical stuff. I know a little. So uh, let's get rid of this one as well. So one day I'll be able to post all my mechanical videos. They're all, in fact, you know what? I have I have a lot of videos this year so far of mechanical stuff. But the interesting thing about the mechanical videos, I'll work on something. I'll go somewhere and work on an engine for an hour and a half, 2 hours, video, mostly video because it's high definition. And maybe in 1 out of 10 videos, I'll talk about YouTube stuff. The rest of the time, I'll describe. Yes, Bill. The rest of the time, I will describe what I'm doing to the engine, why I'm doing it to the engine, how I'm doing it to the engines, the chemicals I'm using to clean, the chemicals I'm using to bond, how I'm removing the rust, what I have to do after I remove the rust to make sure that certain things don't get clogged up, ports, jets, stuff like that. How to clean out ports, injector heads, carburetors, stuff like that. And I explain, and so I might do a video for 3 hours, and I'll never once ever mention YouTube because YouTube has nothing to do with rebuilding engines or motors in whatever pieces of equipment that I do that in. YouTube has, I might go 10, 15 hours without even thinking about YouTube. I'm explaining to people how to do something, why to do it, what stages to do it in. And I'm going to also tell you that I am so dissatisfied with the people that I've brought engine equipment to have them do the rebuilding parts that I don't have the machines to do. It is sick. The people that call themselves mechanics in the Philippines that have machine shops, it is sad to believe that you pay these people to do a job, and they did, and then they left the machined parts that they just machined and charged big money to machine, and they left it out in the rain. When I got there, the machine parts that were just surfaced and planed and shaved and milled and cut and machined and repaired and for big money, and then they just left the part out in the rain and it just rusted. The whole thing just rusted up. Well, the parts that counted rusted. So then I had to descale it and de-rust it and then clean it up. So I have another 6 hours on just that one, maybe 10 hours. I don't know. I have to build a tool to take something apart because they left it out in the rain and inside it got rusty. So I have to fabricate a tool to take something apart to clean the inside of what they left out in the rain that got rusty. And I had to pay them. And I said to them, are you gonna clean? No, sir. We're done. You certainly are done. In fact, I got to get those. This is an amazing country. These people are not mechanical. They are not good at what they do. And they don't care. They charge you for something. I could tell you what it was, but then I would be telling you what I'm doing, and I'm not going to do that. They charge you for something, complete job, and you go there, and 75% of the job is done. And what about putting it back together? You have the tools. I don't have the tools to put it together. So that's extra. 50% more than what the original charge was. But the job was for a complete job. So they did 75% of the job. I get there. They say it's done. It's not done. And I said, well, when are you going to put it? Oh, that's extra. So they charged me, let's see, 25. and 9, 34. They charged me 60% plus more than what the original price was to put the part back together with the tools that only they have. And they know I don't have those tools. It's all special tools. So but the job on the work order, I have the work order right here. The job was to rebuild this item. Rebuilding means rebuild it. Doesn't mean take it apart, rebuild half of it, and then put half of it back together. Doesn't mean that. It means rebuild it. You want to come to the Philippines, you got to write in the contract, rebuild and reassemble. When meanwhile the guy is standing there shaking your hand, glad handing you, laughing, smiling with you, telling you joke. Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll have it all back together on Tuesday in October. And comes January, it's still not done. Welcome to the Philippines. Now I'm going to clear out some more. Oh, this is really important. This is really important stuff. I got to show you this window here. If you guys didn't get a chance, it's too late now. But I want you to know that Black Twitter month is over. No longer can you post in Black Twitter for the month of Black Twitter. Exploring the origins and social impact of Black Twitter. So if you wanted to, I think it was January. That's Black something month. Anybody know what that is? It's Black Internet Month, Black Twitter Month. Somebody want to put it on the screen. I'm not real familiar with all the different special months that they have. Let's get over here. Well, anyway, I think the month of January was Black Month, some kind of Black Month thing. Well, yeah. And so if you wanted to post during February's Black History Month, thanks, Michael. Black History. If you wanted to post during Black History Month, you're going to have to wait until next January. February. Okay, February is Black History. See, I don't know much about that. But if you want to post in Black History Month, you're going to have to wait again until next year if you're going to post women. That's right, Women's Month, right? Women's Month. Something about Women's Month. That's right. They have a month for everything except the timing. They don't have they have Columbus Day. They gave me a day. So, but I can actually blog on Black Twitter Month. You didn't notice, but I could blog on Black Twitter Month as a black man because I'm Sicilian, and Sicilians were invaded by the Moors back in the 1400s, and the Moors are a black race. So I am basically Sicilian. That's where we get our olive-colored skin. I'm 20% black. It's true. I'm 20% black. And so I was going to apply for some social welfare programs. I was actually going to move to San Francisco to see if I could get some of that $5 million. Because if even this much Black history in your genetics, you should be qualified for $5 million social grant. And like the lady, Pocahontas, the Indian lady, who said she was Indian because 1,000th of 1% of her ancestral heritage. The Irish have St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, the problem with the Irish having St. Patrick's Day is they don't remember it. from the next day. The St. Patrick's Day came and went. They'd have no recollection of St. Patrick's Day. Sorry to say. So I could register in San Francisco as a black man because my heritage, my genetics will say I'm 20% black. So I could be black. I mean, I could qualify for black social programs and stuff like that. In fact, I'm going to go, if they start giving out $5 million reparations to the blacks in San Francisco, I'm going to go there and get a genetics test and prove to them that I'm 20% black, and I want $5 million. Because that's what they're supposed to give every black man, woman, and child. San Francisco wants to do that. So I think I'm all in on that. Let's go. So anyway, Black History Month is over. Black Twitter Month is over. So if you guys missed out, you're going to have to wait again until next February. I just wanted to share that piece of information. And we can close that window out. That's come and gone. Till I go to San Francisco. I left my genetics in San Francisco. I left my genetics in San Francisco. Okay, so we're moving on to see how fast the windows close out now? See, when I restarted the computer, how everything works? It's a question of them building up cookies and stuff in the background. Okay, one more video. This just happened in New Zealand. All over the world. Brazil, Colombia, New Zealand, America, Philippines. We can go through this video right now. All over the world. Look at what's happening all over the world. Bolivia, Colombia, February. Flooding like you wouldn't believe. Here it is, Bolivia, Colombia. This is not normal in Bolivia, in Colombia this time of the year. Here we are in Brazil. Brazil, February. Cars half up to the window, doors. February, Brazil. Brazil, all over Brazil is being flooded. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 foot water in the street. Now we go Merida, in Merida. I don't know where Merida is. Bridges, tunnels, roads, gone. All over the world in February. Here's one. It washed out an entire bridge. This is the bridge. The mountain on this side over here. The mountain in the background collapsed. And collapsed this half of the bridge, and then it collapsed the bridge behind the bridge. And this is Indonesia. Indonesia this month, February last month, Indonesia, an entire highway, roads, and entire buildings, 15-foot storm surges from the river surges, 15 feet. Chile. Chile, they have fires in Chile. And these fires, I don't know why, but it's just a catastrophe that's happening in Chile. Okay, Chile, again, forest fires raging in Chile. They're taking away all of the middle class. Indonesia, tornado, funnels, the tornadoes in Indonesia. New Zealand, floods, 8, 10, 12-foot surges in the rivers, floods. New Zealand. Washing away bridges, roads, entire towns are being washed away in New Zealand. This is a road in New Zealand. The whole entire towns are just being washed away. More, New Zealand, the road. In the video, you get to watch this entire area collapse and then roll over and go downstream. This whole thing just picks up like a playing card and just flips over full of debris. Roads washing away down the sides of hillsides all over New Zealand. And this is the channel that it's on. And we'll copy that, and I'll put that in the link so you can watch that video if you want. I also want to put that video in my video description box. So, yeah, they're causing floods, typhoons, cyclones, water spouts all over the world. They're doing this all the month of February. Stuff. Oh, what about? And then there was 7 feet of snow in the Sierra Madre Mountains in Northern California, but that's happened before. That has happened before. About every 30 or 40 years that happens. But it did happen again this year. And they're calling it a wonderful thing because it's going to bring up the height of the reservoirs in California and Nevada, Lake Tahoe, Lake Mead. All of the reservoirs are being filled up from the snow and rain. So this is weather modification. They're doing this on purpose. Now, maybe Bolivia and New Zealand is just a side effect of what they're doing in America. I don't know. I don't know how the weather modification machines work. I don't think it's an exact science yet, but I do believe they're doing it intentionally. So let's go. All right, now we'll go to, that's the last video. Parallel, we're going to talk about, this just happened in New Zealand. We can get rid of that video. Ah, yeah, one more important thing. The
CEO of YouTube, Susan.
The great Susan.
The CEO. The
great Susan something, who was the head of YouTube, resigned so she could spend more time with her family. Good. Hey, Aussie Outlaw, I looked for your email address. I couldn't find it. So I can't send you something. If I spent 15 minutes looking for your email address, going to your About page, I see websites, I see videos, but no email address. So I can't send you the links. If you want to figure out, if you want to put your email address in on your About page, you're welcome to do that. So Susan, who was the head of CEO of YouTube, resigned. And a lot of the pundits are saying she's responsible for shadow banning. Oh, I know that to be true. She shadow banned my channel. I used to get 38,000 views a month on Hoodwinked by an Angel. And in one day, it went down to 1,400 views a month. In one day, it just went from 38,000 a month to like 50 views a day to like 1,400 views a month for several months. Just with one push of the button, they shadow ban. So all you clowns, you bastards out there, you low-life, creepy sons of witches that said there's no such thing as shadow banning and they don't know who Fazio is, you people are the stupidest people on YouTube. Everybody that said it, everybody, all inclusive, that said nobody's shadow banning Fazio's channel. Go read this article. Go look at what they have to say about Susan. Everybody, she shadow banned thousands of channels. And she's going to have to appear before the Senate House Committee and answer questions if shadow banning exists. So all of you creeps out there, and I mean every single one of you creeps, you jealous, know-nothing, loser bloggers that don't have anything to say that's worthwhile, and the only thing that you can do is talk about other bloggers. Every single person that said they don't, shadow banning doesn't exist, algorithms don't exist. Well, that was all proven. Do you remember they shut Trump down as the president of the United States? Ex-president, they took his Twitter account. That's shadow banning. You people that said that are disgusting, despicable human beings because you were too stupid to do a little research to see that shadow banning is possible. And in fact, they did it to me. Go look at my view counts before she shadow banned my account and go look at my view counts after. You all deserve some things I can't say. Every one of you, bar none. You got that Indian chief 10 face. What, 10 faces? He said there was no such thing as shadow banning. Fazio's just a crybaby. Wait, Mr. 10 faces. It's coming. It's coming. So he's an Indian chief of 10 faces. That's the name of his tribe. Indian chief, 10 faces. So I'll give you this link here. And now they're going to five major news studios have put up videos and articles about how YouTube shadow banned accounts, including that lady Blue Part, I forget her name. Blue Part, her page was shadow banned. Her page, a state senator. So she's going to make them appear before court. They're going to lie. Nothing's going to happen to them. But she's going to make them appear at the Senate Hearings Committee with lawyers. So it won't be any big inconvenience for Susan, but she did shadow ban thousands of YouTube accounts. But we're going to shut that down. Any of you creeps that said shadow banning doesn't exist, any of you creeps, you low-life, backstabbing, lying, know-nothing bloggers that said shadow banning doesn't exist. Now it's proven that it does exist. And you know who you are. I just included every one of you because that went on. Hey, Al Vargas. Now, Al's followed me for 10 years. Thanks for stopping by, Al. Finally, you figured out how to get to my YouTube channel after 10 years. Al's been a member of Facebook and then on Messenger recently. Thank you for stopping by, Al. He's been with me since the beginning. Yes, I did. Yeah, so you people that said Mr. 10 Faces, the head of the Indians of Cebu, Mr. 10 Faces, he said, word for word, he said, Fazio's not shadow banned, he's just a crybaby. I also said that my pigs live better than Fazio. You're gonna regret that. You're gonna regret that. You will regret that, but not today. Today, I'm not going to talk about bloggers. We're only talking about Chief Ten Faces from Cebu. Remember, Chief Ten Faces. Remember, Fazio has emails, and emails are public record. You don't have anything incriminating on me. Just your false accusations. False accusations. So if you want to make false accusations, imagine if I told the truth and added some false accusations. Oh, wait, just wait, buddy. Just wait. Just wait. You want to do a 3-hour? You did a 3-hour hit piece on me. I'll do a 5-hour hit piece on you. I'll make it a breakfast and lunch extravaganza. That's happening. That's going to happen. And I'm going to say it again. Nobody likes you. Even the guy who you said did wrong, we won't say as to what, and then you gave him $250. Or that's going to be part of my live stream. How are you going to justify that? How are you going to justify that? Get ready, because here it comes. Maybe not this week. As Pink Floyd says, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it's coming. How are you going to justify the fact that somebody who did what they did and you went live saying what they did was wrong, and then at the same time you gave them $250 in Super Chat and coffee money? You and the other person that you're with. How are you going to justify that? It's coming, dude. You're going to wish you didn't do that 3-hour and 7-minute hit piece on me. Or you may not wish that, but you will remember it. It will be a monumental event on YouTube. A monumental event. You can post all the email. You can say whatever you want, and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to make it 5 hours, just off the top of my head. I could talk about you for 5 hours with no problem at all. And with that, I'll get back to proving that the earth is not a spinning ball. Send them that soundbite. Okay, so we have to talk about parallax. We have to talk about parallax. We don't need this window here. Alan Alcino Vargas says, "You're the best, brother. Love all your videos. You're the man. You're a man of your word." Well, he knows. He remembers. I've not... You see, that's another thing. Chief Ten Faces said that I'm a liar. Prove I'm a liar. Prove it without just words. Prove it with emails. Prove it with videos. Prove it. Because I am going to prove everything I say about you. And what I can't prove, people will remember. You are in for a 5-hour video that you did 3 hours and several minutes. I'm going to do 5 hours. I'm going to make every single person on YouTube know what a kind of a person you are. What kind of person you are is going to be exposed to the world as if it wasn't already. Because nobody likes you, dude. You should get it through your head that you only get 15 views on a video because no one likes you. Doesn't matter what you blog, where you blog from. They don't even watch your videos. They don't like you. They might come to my videos, they don't like me, but they watch because some of the stuff is entertaining and it's all real. But you, they don't like you so much, they don't watch your videos. I don't watch your videos. Not one view will you ever get from me. since you did that hit piece. Not one view. Not only that, but most of the people that you believe are your friends don't like you either. You are behind the scenes, they are laughing their butts off that you're running around tagging toilet bowls. In Discord, they're talking about hitting those toilet bowls that you tagged with a sledgehammer when they get there. They don't like you, dude. So send them that bite, because that's coming. And now it don't matter that you apologize. I don't even want an apology from you, because it would mean nothing. I'm just going to do tit for tat. The hit piece that you did on me, I'm going to rebuttal it. And I'm going to play it while I rebuttal it. And I'm going to talk about emails and other things, because you want to give away all my secrets. Good idea. I like that idea. You give away all my secrets, because when it happens, you will understand that what you did and how you tried to destroy my reputation was wrong. And everybody knows that. You have no idea the people behind the scenes that despise you as a quasi-human being. That not one idea. You went and tagged the toilet bowl. There are people talking about going there and cracking the toilet bowl open with a sledgehammer. That's how much they want to care about you. They don't like you, dude. Hey, Flying Circus. Okay, I'll see Outlaw. Okay, you're going to get me the email address. Yes, it's annoying, the channels that they promote. They promote garbage because these are the people that follow these so-called famous and powerful people when they're nothing but bologna and cheese artists. You're the best, says Alcino Vargas. I can make that. I think I can undo that, Flying Circus. No, I can't. I could pin the message. You can undo it, Flying Circus. You should be able to go there and undo that deletion. So let's talk about what my topic material was supposed to be. Well, I knew what I was going to do. I was going to talk about current events, and then I'm going to talk about how to prove 3 definitive proofs that the Earth is not a spinning ball. So let's go here. Okay, so first of all, for you people with shoulders and a box of rocks on top of your shoulders. First of all, why am I doing this? I'm doing this because if you'll notice, it's raining so hard, again, here in Bohol, that you can't see the ocean. And that's only 200 feet away. And it's been raining like this. Now it's the 73rd day. It's raining 61 out of 73 days. Plus, we have 20, 25, and 30-kilometer winds, as shown by those trees. And the ocean is 3 to 5 feet out in the ocean today again. It was 2 to 3s, but now they're 3 to 5s. So parallax, okay, I have to educate you because you people have somehow bypassed any kind of proper education in physics class and science class. English class, you skipped altogether. Math is something that happened in kindergarten with a 1 by 1 + 1, and you've never gotten past that. But parallax, what is a parallax effect? So first I have to educate you to the word parallax, and then I'll show you how parallax proves the Earth is not a spinning ball. Parallax effects involve a website's background moving at a different speed than the foreground content. So, if you had a website that had the stars in the background and you had a picture of, I don't know, Coppertan suntan lotion, and the sun was going across the sky in the back of the Coppertone suntan lotion. So you have the sun moving across the sky behind the Coppertone baby or girl, whatever. And parallax is the sun that's moving behind the suntan lotion child poster. Now, this visual technique creates an illusion of depth, which leads to a fake 3D effect on the scroll. Okay, so parallax is if there was even one video of space, which there is not, if there was even one real-time video of space, which does not exist even till today. So we have now 80 years of them putting rockets up into the atmosphere and stratosphere, 60 years into space, and we don't have one picture or video of space. Not one. It's all CGI. But if they did, and they took a video from a satellite, and the moon was in the frame, behind the moon would be the stars, and they would be moving, right? Because the moon is moving, stars are moving in a different direction, the moon is spinning, stars are moving behind it. That's parallax. Behind the moon, the stars moving behind would be the parallax of the video. But there is no video like that. But parallax also occurs on Earth. So where there is zero parallax is the North Star, Polaris. Polaris is above the North Pole, directly above. And it stays stationary forever. So the lie, this is the lie that we're living on a spinning ball. The lie is this. The Earth is spinning at 1,038 miles an hour. That's a lie. It's a straight up and down lie. Flat Earth Fazio says it's a lie. It must be a lie. Because if the Earth is spinning at 1,038 miles per hour, now my friend Tommy G, that Alan says that's so true. We're going to get into space momentarily. Thank you, Al. My friend Tommy G, okay, now he ended up being a lot less of a friend than I thought, but his brother Jimmy had, I think it was an 8-inch telescope, about 4 feet, 4.5 feet, maybe 5 feet long. And it came on a cast iron stand that weighed a few hundred pounds. I know it weighed a few hundred pounds because I smashed into it with a mini bike and broke my forks, the fork of my front end. They said in order, this is back in the 60s, 1969 is when that mini bike I had. They said that in order to see the stars, there was a book that came with the telescope, you had to bolt it down into the concrete. And then it gave you the angles to point the telescope up and what direction on the compass. And that was all done when you bolted it into the ground. Now, the compass heading was maybe like 90 degrees. So it's set it at 90 degrees and then bring it up at 32 degrees. And you should be looking at Saturn, let's say. Okay. So they said in order to have accuracy, you have to bolt it into the ground. And then they gave you the measurements. Well, that should have told us right then and there when we were children that the Earth is not a spinning ball. Because if the Earth was spinning at 1,038 miles an hour and you set it to look at Saturn, and by the time you saw Saturn, you'd be looking at something else. Maybe you're looking at Neptune or Pluto. There's no movement. But every night that he went out to look at Saturn with the telescope, he went to the same angle at the same compass heading and just looked through the scope, and there it was. There's no parallax. Now, how long has that been going on for? That's been going on since the Mayans. The Mayans said a compass heading and a certain degree, and that's where Saturn is 30,000 years ago. And that's where Saturn is today. There's no parallax. There's no movement of the stars relative to a fixed position for a telescope on Earth. None. Ever. Now, when you look at the Big Dipper, the Big Dipper never changes. It changes position in the sky. But it's the Big Dipper that's moving, not the Earth. It changes position in the sky, but the Big Dipper itself, where the so-called stars are, that shape never changes. But if the Big Dipper is part of the Milky Way galaxy, and the Milky Way galaxy is spinning and rotating at 650 million miles an hour, and the Big Dipper, the galaxy is rotating, the sun is rotating, and we're moving through space at 650 million miles an hour. And the Big Dipper never changes. If they took thank you, Al. If they took a picture of the Big Dipper when you were born and they superimposed that framework on top of the Big Dipper today, it would be the same as it was 30,000 years ago when they did a star chart. The Big Dipper never changed size, never changed shape. Well, how do they justify this? Don't you listen to these people. Back in the 50s, somebody said, well, that can't be so. The stars would have to move a little bit. So what they did, they changed the distance of the stars. So the stars used to be 10 light years from Earth. So they should have shown a parallax or a movement in the sky and a change of position. So what did they do? The scientists, astronomers, cosmologists, they got together and they said, well, no, we made a mistake. The stars are really 1 trillion light years away. So that you won't see them move in the sky. You won't see that happen. That's nonsense. They went from 10 light years away to a billion light years away, a trillion light years away. So there's no more parallax. But what about the other stars that are closer? Well, they're all a billion light years away now. Then the closest star are billions of light years away. They changed how far they were, but even the ones that they say are closer, they don't move either. See, they can change certain things, but they can't change it all. So there's no parallax. Therefore, every year on January 1st, at 9 o'clock at night, every year on January 1st at 9 o'clock at night, when you look through Jimmy's telescope, it's going to show Saturn. At 10 o'clock, it's going to be in a different place. At 11 o'clock, it's going to be in a different place. But at 9 o'clock, January 1st, it's going to be inside Jimmy's telescope. If there was parallax, it would have moved out of range because it would have moved in the universe. So it's not that they don't move, but they don't change position relative to themselves. So if you were born on January 1st at 9 o'clock at night and you look through Jimmy's telescope at a predestined angle, you're going to see Saturn. Now, at a different time, you're not going to see Saturn. At 10 o'clock, it's going to be a little bit over to the left or right or up or down. But at 9 o'clock, for all of time, since the Mayans, that star has never changed, or that planet has never changed position. That's parallax. When you die, that planet and those stars are going to be in the same position. There's never going to be a change because they don't move. The galaxy is not spinning around in a big circle at 650 million miles per hour, and then that's spinning through the universe at 650 million miles an hour, and the universe is expanding. It's all a story. The Big Bang never happened. Do you not understand? It's the Big Bang Theory, not the Big Bang. It's the Big Bang Theory. It's the same if Bill Gott is here. Bill gave me a video yesterday. It's the same thing with Lucy, discovered by Donald Johanson. Lucy was an ape. There is no fossil records of apes' transformation into human beings. Doesn't exist. No fossil records. There are apes, about 12 different types: Neanderthal, Cro-Magnon, midget, Sasquatches, big Sasquatches, snow apes in the tundra in Russia and on the ice in the Arctic. But there's no transition from apes to man, bones-wise. There's none. It doesn't exist. Man just appeared. And it all happened in a few thousand years, 100,000 years. Man just appeared. Just as man is right now, the bone structure of man happened instantaneously as far as time is concerned. And there's no transition bones. They're like an ape might have whatever the shape of an ape's head is. I'll give you the video in a minute. Whatever the shape of an ape's head is, that shape was the same shape, and then man became a different shape, and there's no intermediate bones. Like, it didn't progress slowly from ape to man. Doesn't happen. Didn't happen. They're lying to you. But anyway, there's no parallax, which proves that the Earth is not a spinning ball. Because if it was, then on January 1st of each year, the stars would be in a different position. Because Earth wobbles and Earth rotates. And it changes direction in space, and it changes where it is in space. But it never changes position in space. There's lots of videos, but I'll just give you the name, parallax effect. And I'll give you the link. I'll put it in the description box for this video because I don't think it will fit. I'm not sure. So if the Earth was spinning and rotating, the parallax of the Earth, yeah, it won't fit. See, I'm going to have to put it in the description box. It says it's 471 characters. Okay, so I'm going to go to my description box. And I'm going to put that at the top because that's more important than the New Zealand. So the parallax effects. Okay, Bill, thank you. The parallax effects does not exist because if it did and the Earth was a spinning ball, on January 1st, Saturn would be in a different place. But every January 1st, for the last 40,000, 30,000 years, Saturn is in the exact same spot. At 9 o'clock in the morning, Saturn was right there. Okay? We've been lied to. Now, another example of why the Earth is not a spinning ball. I have it in my my community post. If the Earth was a spinning ball, and if we went to space, this is how the government lies to you. This is part of proving the Earth is not a spinning ball. We don't have even 1 minute of live video from space that I can find. Google live video from space. Hold on a minute. I got to get some water. And I need to put... Okay? We don't have even 1 minute We don't have even 1 minute of video from space, not 30 seconds from the moon landing. Not even a minute do we have of the stars in the background. Nothing. Now, they say they did video on the moon, but the people that know about video makers, videographers, photographers, cinematography, they all say that that's fake. All of the people that say the moon landing video is fake are all professional cinematographers, videographers, photographers, all of them. Not all of them, all of them. All the people that say it's fake are the most professional of the videographers, cinematographers, choreographers of videos and how to do lighting experts. All of those people say the moon landing videos are fake. But on top of that, one astronaut was asked, what did the stars look like? And he said, oh, the sky was lit up. It was so bright you could hardly look up in the sky. And other people that landed on the moon said couldn't see the stars. Then they said you couldn't see the stars because you can't see the stars during the day on Earth because it's light on the moon. Well, they were on the dark side of the moon. The ship went around the dark side of the moon. Didn't the ship go around the dark side of the moon while it was waiting for the astronauts to come off the moon? Sure it did. How come there's no video from the dark side of the moon? Because there is no video from the dark side of the moon. How come there's no video of one satellite videotaping the space shuttle when it goes by? The space shuttle. Satellites pass the space shuttle all the time, right? There's nothing. Right, Stanley Kubrick. He's the person that made the videos for the moon landings. But how come the stars, how come there's no video of all the satellites that are up in space are supposed to be for communication satellite? How come there's no video of the space shuttle from another satellite with stars in the background? Or how come there's no video from the space shuttle of satellites passing the space shuttle with stars in the background? The answer is because they can't duplicate the star patterns behind the satellite or behind the space shuttle. For some reason, they can't duplicate it. On the moon, they didn't include the stars in their fake photography because they couldn't show you where the stars would have been in real time from the moon because they weren't on the moon. So they couldn't take a picture from the moon and then show you what it looked like on the moon because they weren't on the moon. So they didn't take any video from the moon with the stars in the background because they weren't on the moon. There's so many reasons they weren't on the moon. But you people, you can't get it through your head that you've been lied to. What else? They lied to us. Donald Trump, the chump, he lied to us. He said that the lockdown would be temporary, 1 or 2 weeks. And it was 2 years, 2.5 years. He lied to you. Biden is lying. Obama, he lied. Clinton, I did not have relations with that woman. He lied. They're lying. East Palestine. The news reporter said there's 10 cubic meters of caustic contaminated dirt. There's 10,000 cubic meters of contaminated, more, maybe 1 million cubic meters. They're lying to you. They're lying to you. What about Zelensky? Ukraine, everybody believes that Ukraine is done, that there's no more people to send up to the front lines. And they're still sending him billions of dollars of equipment. They don't care. Here's some more, another bit. They don't care where the equipment. Zelensky could sell it, he could use it, he could burn it, he could wear it out. He could make it disappear and store it somewhere and sell it later. They don't care about you. All they care about is giving war equipment to Zelensky, and then what are they going to do? They're going to give him $40 billion in war equipment, and they're going to make $75 billion more. They're going to replenish what they give away and then make another 75% more. Because they don't care about you. They never did, and they never will. That's another reason that proves that the Earth is not a spinning ball. Had they gone to the moon, they went to the darn moon. They went to the moon without a camera to picture what Earth looked like from the moon. They went to the moon. They didn't go to the hockey rink. They went to the moon, and they didn't bring a camera to videotape Earth from the moon because they couldn't get the stars right. That was then. Maybe they could get the stars right now, but they still can't go to the moon. And then you get these people with government grants. We're going to go to Mars. Just give me $100 billion. And they give them $5 billion. Those people become rich, and they don't go to Mars, and they keep the money for their grants and their laboratories. You are being lied to. So not once do we have a video from the moon to Earth. And now the last reason that proves that the Earth is not a spinning ball is water seeks its own level, and you can't have 600 million tons of water on a spinning ball. It's not possible. How come you people, why are you people so stupid that you can't get it through your head that water seeks its own level and it never does anything else? Oh yeah, we went to the moon and lost the tapes. 1,000 tapes. 1,000 metal tapes. How to build the lunar module, how to build the rover, what it was, the telemetry tapes, the videos from the moon. 1,000 tapes they lost, 1,000, of the most historic event in all of history. Why do you people not see you're being bamboozled? You're being hoodwinked by the government. Why can't you see it? And last but not least, and then I'm going to end the live stream, Frank. I have this in my... Frank Flywood sent this video about the catastrophes that are occurring right now in today's... right now in the month of February. This is it right here. Okay, I got it already. Okay, so if anybody has a question, I'm gonna get a bottle of water, and then if you have a legitimate Alcino Vargas, please, thank you for stopping by. That was really nice of you. Alcino Vargas says, I love listening to you, brother. You're a wise man and you always talk the truth. You're telling it how it is from your heart. Oh, it's not just the truth. It's what I believe to be the truth. You couldn't make me watch a flat earth video. There's no way you could make me watch a flat earth video. 4 years. My friend Manny Skywatch. Al probably remembers Manism 2011 and Manny Skywatch. He sent me one flat earth video after the other. I said, Manny, the earth is not... You couldn't make me believe the earth was flat. One day in 2014, I watched one video. I researched everything on the video for 12 hours, and then I knew the earth was flat. Just one time researching the video, because it's been proven that it's flat. There's more proof that it's flat than it's round. Water seeks its own level. That's all you need to know. All the oceans of the earth are on the same plane. They're all level with one another. Some a little bit higher, a few inches higher, a few inches lower, depending on the tides and the currents, but they're all the same. Suez Canal's 100 miles, dug on a 26-foot datum line, which you people don't even know what a datum line is, and I'm not going into that. A datum line is a level 26 feet lower. At one end of the Suez Canal is where they started, and they cut a trench 26 feet deep for 103 miles, and at the other end, it opens up, I think, into the Red Sea. No locks. Water's the same level, a few inches higher or lower depending on the currents. You people, do you know that the railway system in Europe is 300 miles? Perfectly flat. There's no curvature of the earth. There's no arc. There's no incline or upcline. There's no incline or decline in the railroad system. An eighth of an inch here or there, an inch maybe from settlement. But for 300 miles, the railroad tracks are straight. And for 300 miles, it follows the flat earth. You people, you really lack an education. You really lack an education. It's sad to think that I have to talk to such ignorant people. And now people say, well, you're calling people ignorant. Well, you are ignorant. The truth is that you people are stupid. That's the truth. The truth is that you people have avoided getting a proper education in science and math and English and physics and chemistry and biology, and you just understand what you see in blurbs on YouTube and social media. The truth is you don't have the ability to do your own research. The truth is you can't do simple stuff like just do the research on any major flat earth video, like 200 proofs the earth is not a spinning ball. Take the time to Google it. Google the name of the person that did the experiment 150 years ago. Google Henry Winkler, Henry Flagler, who made the Flagler Railroad. Thousands and 100,000 miles of railroad, 50,000 miles of railroad some of these people built, all flat, all level. The Flagler Railroad line ran right past my house, where I lived in, when I lived in Key, I lived in Key, Big Pine Key, Marathon Key, Ohio Key, and Key West. The Flagler Railroad, it was a very famous man. I read all about him. The railroad is perfectly flat, perfectly level for hundreds of miles, not an inch up or an inch down anywhere. The problem with you people is you don't have an education. Right, Michael Morley, the Bedford Level Canal, Salt Flats. Yeah, the Bedford Level is an experiment they did proving that the earth is flat. Go look it up. You can find it on Google. All right, so no one has a question. Al, thanks for stopping by. Bill, thank you. DJ, money laundering. Yeah. NASA collects $53 million a day from people. And they lie to you. NASA is like having a wife that goes shopping with her friends. Where did the money go? Oh, we spent it. On what? Oh, we just spent the money. What did you spend it on? Oh, we had dinner, we had lunch. Who knows what they spent it on? It's gone. That was a bad example. Someone's going to call me a male chauvinist pig, and that's not true. You all know better than that. You all know better than that. I'm not a male chauvinist pig. Even though I made videos like that, I'm not. No. I believe. Oh, yeah. I believe. You know what I believe? Let me tell you what I believe about being married. This is the truth, okay? Now, I've had some really good girlfriends, so I'm not going to, especially my last one, Daisy May. She's a really good woman, Daisy May. But I've had women that wanted me to buy them jewelry. Some I did and some I did not. When they break up with you, you know what they do with all that jewelry you buy them, you morons? They open up Cosmopolitan magazine, and in the back, there's a one of God's chosen. Usually has a name like Schwartz or Steinberg or Manischewitz or something like that. And Manischewitz will, you send us your jewelry in a box, in a bag, whatever. And they'll weigh it out. You can weigh it out. And they'll give you, they'll give you 10 cents. You believe these stupid people that buy gold for an investment? That's stupid. That's really stupid. Gold has never been an investment. I don't care what you paid for gold. It's never been a good investment. And you know why? Because back in 1935, President Roosevelt took all the gold off the market, said you're going to go to jail if we find you with gold. It has no value. And bought every ounce of gold that he could for $35 an ounce. Now it's worth $1,500 an ounce or $2,000 an ounce. But it wasn't worth anything then. And then they made it worth money. But back in the 80s, gold is a good investment. You know what gold was selling for back in the 80s? $1,800 an ounce. You know what it's selling for now? $1,800 an ounce. You know how they make money on it? They say gold is worth $2,000 an ounce this month. People sell it and they want to sell it, so they'll end up getting $1,500 an ounce from one of God's chosen people, and then God's chosen people that run the gold standard say, well, gold is worth $2,000 an ounce again. And then it's the same thing as stock. They make it go up, they make it go down, and it's all insider trading. But women, they got that for free. You gave them all that gold, jewelry, diamonds, silver, all that stuff they got for free. They can send it to Hyman Schwartz in a box, and Hyman Schwartz says, well, we'll give you $300 for it. Could be worth $3,000. And the woman says, okay. And then right next to the ad to sell the gold to Hyman Schwartz is an ad for an all-day spa. And they go to an all-day spa, and they have cucumbers and pickles put on their eyelids, on their eye bags. That's all profit. But you did not get profit. You go out and spend 2 months for a diamond ring. Oh, God, you people are stupid. If they let loose all the diamonds that they have stored up in the diamond warehouses in the world, you could buy diamonds for not much, $10 a carat for blue-white diamonds. They have enough diamonds that if you paid $10,000 for a ring 20 years ago, right now, if you try to sell it, you might be able to get $3,000 for it from a jeweler. He's going to clean it up. He's going to clean it up and put it back on sale for $10,000 or put it in a different setting. But if they released all the diamonds they had, that diamond would be worth about $20. That's how many diamonds they have stored. That are no way that diamonds have no value. But a woman that you pay $10,000 for a diamond ring to give her, and she breaks up with you, and she keeps the ring, that's the law, she can sell that diamond for $2,000. That's profit. That's profit. Now that's how you can make money. Become a woman, get engaged to some rich guy, and sell the ring. That's profit, baby. That's pure profit. And now there's going to be about 16 or 17 people that watch this video that are going to, hey, that's a great idea. I'll just become a woman. And they will. That's the sad part. That they believe me. That's the sad part. I got to go. Thanks for watching. I'll leave you guys talk to each other. For a few minutes. No need for a question, brother. Answered all of them. Thank you. You answered all of them. Thank you, Al. Alcino Vargas. What and that man, Alcino Vargas. I had not one but two collections of Playboy books in the original wrapper, never opened up, never. One I got from Irving Klein and one I got from Joe Mealy. They collected Playboy books. And I had Time Life magazine, every edition from 1962 or 63 right up until 1977. Every edition of every Playboy book, twice, and Time Life magazine, once. It all got destroyed in Hurricane Sandy. You know what they were worth? Nothing. You know what they were worth before they got destroyed in Hurricane Sandy? The Playboy books? If you put them in boxes and if you sent them to a collector, he would take them from you, maybe give you $100, if they were all in mint condition. Well, anyway, there was a cartoon in all the Playboy books, Vargas, and it was right before the centerfold. That's the only place I've ever seen that name, Vargas. I wonder if Al is the artist behind Vargas cartoons in Playboy. I gotta get water. Vargas cartoons. Oh, you get stiff sitting down for a long time like that? The legs? That's too much ice. Okay. I have ice that I keep in the refrigerator. Ice. I make ice in these plastic containers. 3 of them were iced up since yesterday morning. They're solid. This one here, this one has a little bit of life. Ice, 7 degrees. I talked for 2.5 hours without a drink of water. I sat here for 2.5 hours without getting up, pretty much. You guys try that. Yeah, people that can't sit for their back, their legs, their arms, their neck. They get cramps. You got guys that are not old men that can't sit down for 2 hours. Why? Because they're out of shape, that's why. Now, I might be a little fat. Maybe I am, but I'm not out of shape. So, and when you guys, when you guys make fun of me, and you get a lot of sound bites and stuff like that, I'm glad that you could do that. But I've already made the statement as to what's going to happen if you keep letting people say violent things on your chat, in your chat, on your videos. I'm gonna start removing those comments. That's gonna happen. I didn't get to it because I've been busy all week with other stuff, but that's gonna happen. You guys don't understand. When you start creating a negative vacuum where people are starting to attack me and they think they're gonna say this negative thing and that negative thing, I'm gonna try to get your channel removed. That's what I'm gonna try to do. So don't say that you weren't warned when it happens, because you've been warned twice. The last time I said exactly what I just said this time, and the first time I have time, I'm gonna do that. So you should go through what's on your channel, because I will start flagging stuff. If you think it's funny that someone says something really negative about Daisy May, I don't think it's funny. I'm going to flag the comment, every one of them, systematically. So if you keep letting that stuff happen, I'll just keep flagging the comments. So far, I haven't had time. Been busy. But that's going to happen. Thank you, Alcino. Yes, okay, then no one really has any more questions about the flat earth. When you start seeing the comments removed and your videos being removed because of the comments, don't blame me. You've been warned. So this is Michael Fazio. I don't know what day Daisy's coming back, but that's going to happen. Then you'll all be eating the proverbial crow that apparently no one has ever had to eat because they've only given crow to other people. But the person who originated the proverbial crow has never had to eat crow, which is a good thing. But when I start removing your videos, then you'll be eating crow because you have been warned. You're not getting it. I asked you nice again, and then I made a statement of what I was going to do. And now I'm confirming that that statement is going into full effect. So you know who you are. You keep letting people talk smack about Daisy or myself, I'm going to start flagging the comments. And anything else that I can do to have the comments removed. If I have to flag it 10 times, I'll flag it 10 times. You need to get that crap off your channel and out of your video comments. You just need to do that. Now, you don't need to do it. It's your prerogative. But when you start losing videos, you'll understand that I'm serious about what I'm saying. You want to start garbage on YouTube between me and somebody else, or between somebody else and Daisy? It's your prerogative, but it's going to start getting flagged ASAP. All right, bye-bye for now. Yeah, the pepperoni. Eating the pepperoni like that. I remember that. Ooh, pepperoni, pepperoncini peppers, and the hot spicy sauce, and the black coffee with a little bit of anchovy oil on top. Yeah, baby. That's heaven on earth. Thanks, Al. Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Flying Circus. And a few other people. Thank you. Amping Permi from the Philippines, baby. Bye-bye for now. And, of course, Amping Permi means take care always. That's right.